Hey everyone, Rob the Average Lawn Guy. Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm doing spot Bermuda lawn repair. That's dog urine spots I noticed I have on the lawn. So during the winter I allowed my dog to kind of go on the lawn. I was a little on the lax side, but you pay the ultimate price. So that answers the question, do you need to water the urine after your dog goes when the lawn is dormant? And the answer is pretty much yes. The mistake I did was allow the dog to go on the lawn when the grass was just at the back end of the dormant period. So when it was in the beginning of the dormancy period, I didn't have to worry about it. But towards the middle and end, this is when you kind of have to stop, because damage can still happen from urine. So this technique here I'm going to show you really works for small spots, or if you don't have a big problem to deal with. All you need is a screwdriver, clay sand, and potting soil. Now the potting soil I feel is optional, but it does help, and the reason why is because it does have a little bit of the macros in it, mainly the nitrogen, which is going to help encourage the Bermuda to spread much faster. So we're going to go into the lawn and take a look. So what you need to understand is that Bermuda, if it has good sunlight, it is going to spread naturally, and it's going to spread very aggressively. But there's certain things you can do to actually make your Bermuda spread much more faster. This technique works for any kind of spots you may have in your lawn, whether it's just regular bare spots or dog urine spots. You can use the same exact technique to fill in, to encourage the Bermuda to fill in the particular spot. So the way Bermuda spreads, it spreads via stolones and rhizomes. Stolones are above ground runners that run above ground. Rhizomes are below ground runners that run below ground. Now rhizomes don't run deep underground, it just runs barely under the soil surface in order to allow the Bermuda to fill in much faster. So this is what makes Bermuda very unique in its growth, is that it spreads via two ways, stolone and rhizomes. So if you know that knowledge, you can fill in any bare spots as long as you have good sunlight. Now as you can see here, I have a spot right here I need to fill. Okay, this is a dog urine spot. Now naturally this is going to fill in over time. You can do certain things to make it fill in much more faster. I know this is a dog urine spot because I actually did let my dog go a few times onto the dormant lawn. Well, what ended up happening is that the lawn was not completely dormant, so which is why I kind of don't suggest using any kind of glyphosate on a dormant lawn in order to kill your existing weeds, because you need to be sure your lawn is absolutely dormant. So in order to get this to fill in really quickly, what you need to do is clear away the dead material from this. And the way you do that is you just take a regular screwdriver and kind of start chipping away at the dead material. You want to get it up as much as you can, but you don't want to go too crazy over it. So what you do is you kind of rake it up. If you have a small hand rake, you can do that, but a screwdriver will be fine. So once you loosen up the dead material, just take your hands and kind of pull as much of it as you can. Okay, but the main thing is that you want this to be clear. Now the next thing you want to do is actually aerate the spot. Remember, when you do a core aeration, you're allowing water, air, and nutrients to get into the ground. Well, this is a form of aeration. It's not really a core aeration, it's a spike aeration, but the concept is still the same. What you want to do is take your screwdriver and start poking the ground. So what this is going to do is soften up the soil a bit to allow the below ground rhizomes to spread faster. So by doing the spike aeration, or poking the hole into the ground, you are softening up the soil, relieving compaction in order to allow the rhizomes to fill in much faster. So once you cleared away some of the dead material and you did your spike aeration with the screwdriver, this is what you want to see. You want to see mostly soil with as little dead material as you can possibly get out. It's going to be almost impossible to get rid of every single piece of dead grass, but that's okay. So what you want to do is take a little bit of the play sand and spread it on the spot. Now what the play sand is going to do is, remember, play sand doesn't have any type of nutrient value, so it doesn't have any nitrogen or any kind of macros in it. But what the play sand does, it retains heat much faster. You ever go to a beach barefoot and you could only walk so long barefoot on the beach because the sand is extremely hot? This is the same concept. As the sun starts to beam down on this, it's going to heat this up faster, and Bermuda loves heat, so it's going to spread a little faster than usual to fill this area in. So because sand doesn't have any nutritional value in it, what you can do is take a little bit of the potting soil. Remember, potting soil has a little bit of nitrogen in it. You just want to sprinkle it on, just a tad bit. You don't have to go too crazy, just a light sprinkle. And again, you can pat it down or you can kind of mix it in. It's totally up to you. But the combination of the heat retention of the sand with the small nitrogen being added from the potting soil is going to allow the Bermuda to fill in much faster. Now this hole is a problem that's, I would say, a small to medium sized issue. The issue with this here is that my dog kind of dug up this ground. You can see the Bermuda is starting to fill in already. Again, Bermuda is very aggressive in its growth, so it will fill in naturally. But like I said before, doing the method I showed you, applying a little bit of sand and potting soil, is going to help fill this in faster. Just a light coat of sand like this, and a light coat of potting soil. Just a very light coat. And then what you can do is kind of rub it in. You can see some of the stones across here. This one is actually burnt, so I'm going to pull this one out. Rub it in, and then what you can do is kind of give it a light watering to get it started. That will activate the nitrogen in this. And the Bermuda is going to have a field day trying to fill in because it's going to want to reach in to get the food source right here. That's the main goal of the potting soil. This over here was a spot I filled in about 2 weeks ago, and it was not a dog urine spot. It was actually a digging spot. My dog actually dug in here and removed some of the soil. So what I end up doing is putting down just play sand, and you can see in 2 weeks time it started to fill in. Remember, you can do this technique for any type of spots you have, whether it's dog urine spots or it's some kind of bear spot. You know, as long as it's not a fungus or anything, you can do this technique and it works. I hope you found this information useful, guys. And for those of you new to my channel, be sure to subscribe for more future content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later.